Is it okay? The teaching, not boring? I hope not headache. Okay, then in order to recognize the environment in Bardo, especially about the third, now we have to try in this living Bardo to train ourselves, not by watching all the time TV and movie, but sometimes also try ourselves, by watching the poems of 100 deities. Yeah? That is drawn as a tanka or, made as a statue, and through your visualization, the 100 deity visualization also can be done. So these are the practice that we must train ourselves, because we waste our eye quite a lot, and now we are putting these glasses now. This is not because we have been watching the 100 deities, but by watching, I think mostly something else, yeah. And we have been almost, spoiling our ear by listening song or something else, but not a true instruction or teachings such as this Bardo teaching. We must use also this wonderful ear for that cause. Then we smell. Perfume also, and many other things we smell. We have used our sense quite a lot, but not always making something, good sense. Something, the smell, that can also support us to liberate is also good. Test. We have been testing so many things, especially when it comes to smoking, the smelling, the smoke, and drug, and many other things. We use these things a lot and waste it. Smoking is really, really bad thing. And when I come to Indonesia, it's really beautiful everywhere you go. Naturally beautiful. People are beautiful. Last year I was asked by somebody, what is different that you find between Malaysia and Indonesia? So I heard that, Malaysia being truly Asia. And I told him, Indonesia, if I may say, the smile of Asia. Because the smile that you find, you get from people in Indonesia is really, really different from those artificial smiles. Yeah? In the aircraft, in the 5-star hotel, and many other places, yeah?
One of us is Malaysian.
Sorry, I'm not saying Malaysia is really, truly Asia. Yeah, it's really, truly Asia. Yeah? Because it's part of Asia. No doubt. And yes, it's everywhere you go. It's really wonderful. People are so wonderful and very helpful. When you ask something, they are really ready to actually do something. Of course, when we think about the negative aspect, yes, nobody is perfect in this world. Yeah, so always, it's like two sides of the coin. Always the positive and negative is there in whatever society. It's not really an enlightened, pure land. Yeah. One thing, wherever you go, yes, of course, it's beautiful, yet something disgusting. That's a smoke. Everywhere you go, smoking. Almost everybody I see, I think 80% smoking. So this smoking will not liberate us. It will tie us more tight, in this world. Especially it will tie the connection with, anger and many other, mental sort of stress, depression. Yes, that's really true. When you go to villages where people cook, by not gas or stove, firewood. So you go to the kitchen, the room is different from the other room, The panes, the wooden panes that they have, ceiling, it's very tight, so tight, sticky because of the smoke. So it's very stabilizing because of the smoke. Smoke has that power. But when it comes to cigarette, worse, because that's accepted or not, that's a poisonous, really. And that poison is not something that kill us, but that will actually bring us very nice way, in a very nice way, to hell. That's really true. Our channel, the nerve system in our body, are all tightened, stick up by the smoke. So smoking is very dangerous, It will not leave us like, the kitchen in the village. It will make us almost, spoil everything, our blood. So the blood circulations and everything, slowly gets stuck. And it can cause many other also problems. That's why when we talk about the training of Poa practice, it is said, for those people who smoke, very difficult to transfer the consciousness through the channel system. It's very difficult to open up the channel system, of the body. It's very difficult. So smoking is like, sticking up all our nerve system, making it not flow, everything that naturally flows inside. Smoking, very dangerous. So this is how we have been actually misusing our sense of smell, sense of taste, in many different ways. So at least we should try, some of the sense, some of the test, liberation things. Like some gurus may have to give you the Dharma pills. The Dharma pills are not just made out of this herbs. They are mixed up with so many different other blessing substances, including Buddha's relics and many other relics, which are the part of the liberation things. So these are very good, I think, Dharma pills. If it is coming from a very good lineage, the Dharma pills are very liberating. So we test Dharma pills instead of chewing tobacco. Smell, I think, more liberating incenses, than just simply smoking, and hear more teachings such as Bardo, rather than listening for all those, we need entertainment. I'm not asking you to be a yogi, but yes, please try. Then the sensations, the feelings that we are really attached to, we also have to have some blessings to liberate, even through our feeling and sensations. Very, very good. So that's why in our day-to-day life, try to know the pictures of the Idam deities, 100 deities, through paintings, through visualizations, through Namkha statue or whatever. So try when you watch it not as an entertaining yourself, but watch it with devotion. Devotion here does not mean just close your eye and you believe in. Not something like that. Devotion here is really, this is the nature of mind, how actually it takes a shape, especially when it is displayed in the Bardo. So being confident in that understanding is true devotion. So that we are not confused anymore. So this is very important. This will, if we perfect ourselves in this way now, through different ways, then in the Bardo, when you see it's like, the lost child recognizing a mother in the middle of, hundreds of people. So this is what will happen, okay? Like you want to go to fetch somebody from airport, and you are actually going to fetch him, for the first time, and you have no idea how he looks. You have no information what dress is, wearing, and you have know his phone number or something. So very difficult. Maybe we have to ask each person that coming, out of the airport terminal, are you the one, I'm waiting for? Who are you waiting for? See, so that's why it's very difficult. But if you have some kind of, information before, the moment you see the person, okay, I'm wearing a yellow t-shirt and with the what style hair, then the moment you see, it's very clear. It's very easy for you to just, be sure, yeah, that's it, That's why training here does not mean we have to go to mountain and be there for 30 years, do nothing and come back saying, I did 30 years long retreat. If that is the case, the bears, tigers, all, living in jungle by birth. Imagine the liberation, realization. That's why. Whether you be in mountain or city, whether you be in, monastery or lay community, as long as you are introduced with this thing, as long as your practice is connecting with this thing, I think it's okay. But first, we have to have some environmental factors also to stabilize ourselves. It's not that simple that we can do everywhere. Yes, of course, in that sense, we must accept isolated practices, peaceful environment practices, and many other things, But this is very important, whether or not, whatever practice you do is related to the nature of mind, leading you to the realization of that. This is very important. So always keep this in mind. Otherwise we become more traditional, cultural, and then fanatical. Then, maybe more orthodox. See? So we become more sort of, very sensitive. If somebody is looking at you, which is not really of your, from your community or something, whoa. And then problem starts, Perception is different then. But if you really relate your own nature of mind, whatever practice you do, try that. Then whenever you come into, contact with anyone, no matter what religion, background that person is coming from, no matter what nation, the country that person is coming from, not only that, all the non-humans, even when you see an animal, naturally the sense of care is more or less starting in you. So this is very important, I think, It was in 2007 in India, after we finished our Tantra, one of the Tantra subject, the Gurya Tantra. So we have to, we were planning to do a soap offering, the feast offering. That's very special actually practice. So some of my friends asked me, okay, shall we go for shopping or something, have some coffee or something? I said okay, yeah. We had some coffee and we did some shoppings, fruits and many other things, for the offering. On the way back, we were in tuk-tuk, the tuk-tuk? Then my friend, he said, on the way back, he has something to collect. His clothing from a tailor. So, okay, you go and collect. I wait here in the tuk-tuk. I said, and I was just waiting. The tuk-tuk was stopped by the roadside, and it took some time. And I was just looking through this tuk-tuk. Around 3-4 meters distance, there is a dog. Almost, the lower part of the body is crushed by, I think, car or something, But the dog is not yet dead. And so only these two front, legs using is dragging himself, looking for something, food or something. Then the little Indian shop, the man came out of the shop, from the shop, and she hit the dog with all the, things, stone, stick, or whatever, because he didn't want such a dirty thing be around his shop that may, affect the environment, the prosperous environment. So that Jambala may will not come, It was, of course, really sad to see, but the more interesting thing that I felt there is, the Buddha nature that the dog has, and we and Buddha have, is not at all different. It's totally same. Because Buddha realized, became enlightened, and fortunately we are starting to know about this a little bit. When you see the distance between the dog and the dog's Buddha nature, is more sad than seeing he is getting, bitten by the shopkeeper. It's more sad. You understand? Of course, beating something is really, really sad to see, but more sad part of it is, the distance between the dog and his own nature. Together, yes, they're just there, together, yet hundreds of billions of miles away from his own nature. There's no way to almost, realize. Imagine if we are born in such condition, and yet to realize the Buddha nature, really sad. This is what makes our precious human life, especially those in contact with Dharma, makes this life such a precious life. You can imagine the tears that rolled, from my eye was not mainly because of the main big dog, but because of the distance that I felt, between the dog and the nature. More sad, So we should try to relate ourselves really in this lifetime. Try to really relate ourselves through whatever way with this nature. Really we should try. And we should try our friends, our children, our parents, our brothers and sisters and whoever, we should really try. Otherwise, can you imagine being such an irresponsible being in that society or family member, yet we do not actually bother, sharing this to other, telling this to other, encouraging this to other. the guilty feeling, is quite strong. Yeah? I'm not really making you, desperate. But this is really, we should think about, at least by starting from our children. Maybe it doesn't work now, but sometimes I think, our children comes up with his own karma. But I'm not saying, encouraging you to chase away your children, asking him live on his own way, whatever his karma gives him. Please be responsible, yes. But they come up with their own karma. Even you provide them, with all kind of property. If the karma is not there, they will lose it very soon. The karma is there, even if you give nothing, they will become, something. So, yes, property you can give, and other educations also you can give more or less. But never ever forget giving the education of Dharma. Not make them a religious or a fanatical or, something more desperate, but to actually help them, we should teach them Dharma. Really, really, this is important. This gift is not only, a gift that we can give to our children, but this will continue for generations and generations. The ancestors, yet to come, okay, not those who gone. The coming ancestors, okay, not the born ancestors. This will be our greatest gift. Buddha Shakyamuni passed away 2,500 years ago. The teachings is really benefiting us now, and it will continue even after 1,000 years. So that's why we should really keep this in mind, and please try, and try. Yeah. Now let's go through the fourth Bardo. Bardo number 4. The golden chance, the diamond chance. During the third Bardo, the complete, face-to-face contact with our own nature, just simply not having training, practice, instruction, we failed, we lost the chance. And those people who lose these chances, they go through the fourth Bardo. The sad part of fourth Bardo, starting of the fourth Bardo is that now the karma is starting. When the fourth Bardo starts, the Bardo number 4 starts, then the karma now again he starts getting active. The supportive wings that we lost when we were sick before we died, thereby not losing the appetite, unable to digest, not able to swallow, or eat or drink, all those, when those supportive karmic wings were disappeared, then slowly we lost all the other elemental support. Now, when the Bardo number 4 starts, those karmic winds start flowing, Now it takes a shape, and that is called karmic wind. That karmic wind will, take greater shape. Slowly we will feel like we are really having a body. We feel like, oh, I have a body. As if when we were alive, same body. to feel. Because, those unfortunate people, beings, have no trainings and all. The third Bardo's environment failed them. The moment they wake up, again, regain consciousness. It's like, again, after 3.5 days that you regain the reconscious, something similar. Again, we feel like waking up from a deep sleep, another deep sleep. This is what we feel when the third Bardo number 4 starts. Then again we go to home because we are shocked. When something happens, the first thing we do is call home. Yeah, wife or parents or whatever. Something like that. When we go home and tell the story, something is wrong with me. I felt like this. I don't know what went wrong. I think I'm going to die or something. Tell the family member. But another shock for us is there is no reply, no response from the most, dearest husband or wife or parents or children or the loving, beloved family member. How come this family member also ignores me now? There is no sense of care. And because he is dead, if the members of the family are crying, they will tell, why you are crying? What are you saying? Gone crazy or something? I'm not dead here. Nobody seems to hear him. Nobody seems to respond to him. Nobody actually, reacting to him, what he did, what he said, what he tried to, explain. That makes him another great shock. When he sees that his chair, during the lunch or dinner in the family member, is used by somebody. His plates are no more, but somebody else is, eating there. His bed is no more, that somebody else is using. You feel like, he is boycotted by the family. Really sad. That's what the person feels. And sometimes you feel very angry because nobody is responsible. Nobody is caring you. You feel like, really ignored, rejected. And especially to see, this unbearable, that his things are used by others, his places are used by others, his even, the glass and plate and spoon are used by others. It's really sad for him, When this comes to us in the Bardo, when we are dead, don't try not to be shocked. Try not to be angry. Try not to be disappointed with what we encountered. Remind ourselves that I may be dead, and already reached in the Bardo number 4, losing almost everything. Almost, fall into wrong, the danger hole, the unfortunate realm such as hell and spirit, etc. That's why keep, and remind ourselves at that moment. And then we have to be even more cautious now. Yeah? If we can't believe that we are dead, Bardo teaching says, you can see in a mirror or water, there is no more face reflecting. Walk on sand or something, there is no footprint, left on those ground. These are the signs that you have already separated from your own, the most loving body. So we can also remind by doing this, whether we are dead or not. If we don't really can't, believe it, make ourselves understand that we are dead and accept that dead. And now be, careful. Again, we should be reminded, if possible, the instructions of Guru. If possible, rest in the nature of mind. Or reminded, of what we practiced. And at least keep devotion and compassion in, Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. And towards all sentient beings, not giving chance, anger, attachment, etc. even to take place, one single moment in our mind. Because this is really, really sensitive, danger zone now. Already at the border. Because the direct contact with our nature of mind is already lost. So this is the starting of day turning into night. The death process was like night turning into day, but now from the Bardo number 4 almost, is the day turning into night. Because we are getting again away from our own nature. I told you the distance between the dog and his nature. Is now starting to create, starting from the Bardo number 4. It's not with that dog, but with ourselves. This is really sad. When the Bardo number 4 starts, other thing that we can remind ourselves, actually we are in Bardo number 4, is, the different condition. If the person were blind before he died, now he is no more blind, he can see. Don't tell those blind people, if you really want to see, die. If we are deaf, cannot hear now in the Bardo number 4, very clear. We didn't go to any, ear, what do you call that, or surgery or something. All the saints are very, very fresh now. And the mind, when we were, like now, the what do you call it, the handicapped people, yeah? In Malaysia, I visited some of those places last year. It's very sad to see. Ignorant, and karma and negative things. Really, really artistic. They create those all very sad. But when we are in Bardo, we are no more handicapped. The mind is comparing the mind when the person is alive. 7 to 9 times fresher, clearer, sharp. And there is another very interesting thing is like thinking means reaching. Borobudur, your mind is in Borobudur. Museum, Jakarta, Sumatra, Durban, Kuala Lumpur, Bodh Gaya, India, America, your school, your office, your car, your mobile, the previous one, the new one. See how fast our mind goes. Thinking is reaching. Luckily, it comes back now because it's not yet separated with this body. But in Bardo, it's not like that. You think and come back, not like that. Think is reach. Sometimes people say, I'm so tired. What did you do? Something worked very hard? No, I think too much. He didn't do anything, he just thought. Very tired, more than he actually worked. So maybe we will think that, just the mind traveling, maybe it's really fun. You don't have to fly by helicopter or something. It's really tiring because the perception is still the same. The habit is still the same. The way we look at things, situation, is still the same. That's why. Too much thinking makes more tiring than working, physically hard. Thinking and reaching in the Bardo, that condition is, I think, tiring than anything, more tiring. Whatever that is, anti to the reality is always tiring. Maybe we can try, to walk with 2 hands, stand on two hands, upside down. It's really impossible. When you sit in a bus, opposite way, not, facing in front. The bus moves, and your perception is in the anti-direction. So, it is not comfortable. Everything is like, going against. We feel very uncomfortable. That's why whatever that is not actually natural is really tiring you. Here, like we travel by aeroplane or car, we don't even walk. But after 3 to 4 hour journey in the car, it's really tiring, We feel very tired. Like in my village, walk for 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, not that tiring. Because the air that you breathe, things that you hear, environment that you see is quite natural. But here it's like, thousands of sounds to hear at one moment. 100,000 of things to see at one moment. The moment we see, the glance It's already tiring, confusing. Then everything almost, is very tiring. So that's why everything that is anti to reality is very tiring. In Bardo, if you rest, really can rest, If we don't know how to rest, then it's really tiring. Thinking is reaching, and not, even it's more tiring because it's mentally tired. Okay. That's a very good point. This is what Bardo gives us, That's why we have to be reminded the instruction now. Then you can really reach, Thinking is reaching. So even go to safe zone of Amitabha is possible. This is what Bardo gives us, teaches us. Okay, so I will go more about it later. It comes. Another thing, the Bardo being naturally has a power to perform any kinds of miracle. Kind of, karmic power that he can fly, he can also perform miracles. Seem to naturally know many magics also, Like just now we talked about thinking and reaching. Bardo teaching says only two places that you cannot reach is Bodh Gaya and the mother's womb. This is what Bardo teaching says, and many people are confused about it. Bodh Gaya is in India, Bihar, where Buddha got enlightenment. Because the term here uses, Dorje. And Dorje in Tibetan language is Bodh Gaya. Simply, So many people think, what is wrong with Bodh Gaya? The dead person's mind cannot go there. But it's not actually saying, Bodh Gaya, the physical Bodh Gaya in India. Now we have already lost the chance to be enlightened. Bodh Gaya is the place where Buddha got enlightened. So we lost the chance, to be enlightened. This is what it is referring to. That's why there is less chance now to be enlightened. Not really, When it came to, face to face, almost knocking us, hello, come on, this is me, recognize me. We couldn't. And now, when the Bardo starts, it's quite difficult. Very difficult, much difficult. And karma is also working now against us. So the competition is going on now. Mother's womb. Cannot go to mother's womb. That means, because now the Bardo being, in the Bardo number 4, is controlled by karma. His karma will be his boss. So the karma will, hey, you cannot go to there, okay? You must follow me. I have a very wonderful place to go to. I will take you around. So karma also plays his best, now, to increase his population. Okay? This is another thing. So we have almost no control over choosing, a birth, if we want to be born something, We are controlled by karma. And then, another thing is, the Bardo being has no language problem. Because dying is not going to America where we need English. and especially American English. Go to China, maybe you have to speak Mandarin, not even Hokkien or what, Cantonese, does not work. It's not like that, Going to die, death is going to something, unconditional sort of, environment. That's why the Bardo being has even to read others' mind, the power, the power of clairvoyance, knowing everything what is going on in our mind. So these are the qualities or what your characteristics, the Bardo being, especially in number 4. So if we are, possessing these qualities, that means it is 100% sure that we are in Bardo number 4. So we have to be reminded ourselves at that moment that we are actually dead and going to the Bardo number 4. And this is the time that I should, the thinking is reaching. So that's why I must not be angry, because the moment I get angry, it's almost going to hell. It's because thinking and reaching. The moment I, start something negative, it's very dangerous now. That's why I have to be very careful. I must remain, in the purest state of mind, such as devotion.